In the first incident, a lorry caught fire on the A14 eastbound at Girton near Cambridge around 5 o'clock this morning. The carriageway was closed for more than 8 hours whilst the clean-up took place. Police say no one was hurt.
Meanwhile, one lane of the southbound carriageway of the A12 near Hatfield Peveril has been shut all day after a water pipe burst, leaving a large pothole in the road.
Anglian Water say they hope to have the leak fixed by this evening. Tom Barton reports.
Water leaks through the tarmac of the A12. Somewhere underground, a broken water main caused problems for drivers throughout the day. The road surface was damaged and the resulting pothole led to several burst car tyres.
When we arrived, about 40-50 yards past the scene were 4 vehicles. Unfortunately, all suffered near-side tyre damage, but fortunately, all managed to come to a stop safely.
It's quite a dangerous potential incident there, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, when you've got a hole that size, which occurs that quickly, on a road where the minimum speed is going to be 50 miles an hour, up to 70 miles an hour, vehicles travelling that fast, suffering blowouts, it's going to be inherently dangerous.
There's still water bubbling up from under the surface of this road, and it's left this pothole, which is 2 or 3 inches deep. All of this on a road which was completely resurfaced just a few months ago. For hauliers who rely on the A12, this is just another set of delays on a notorious stretch of road.
It's very ironic that it's a nice new section of the A12 we'd all been looking forward to, and here we are a couple of months down the road, almost back to square one.
And what sort of problems did it pose for you this morning?
It cost us about 2 hours. The time deliveries were affected, and also a lot of home deliveries which we do. There's people waiting around for us, so it's been frustrating for everybody, our drivers included.
One lane remains closed southbound near Hatfield Peveril while Anglian Water investigates the cause of the leak. Their work was hampered because tarmac had been laid over access to the water main. The result, long tailbacks and frustrated drivers.
Well, obviously, you know, something's gone wrong somewhere. I would think somebody's got to answer for that.
It's very frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating for drivers, isn't it, when they're trying to get somewhere.
Anglian Water say they'll be working through the night to fix the problem, but there could well be disruption tomorrow morning. Tom Barton, Anglia News, Hatfield Peveril.
Stay with us here on ITV Anglia. Lots more still to come.
A man from Essex, whose mother died after being charged with stealing compensation money from her soldier son, has spoken of his regret that she'll never have the opportunity to clear her name.
Angela Woolard, who was 43 and from Westcliff near Southend, was charged with stealing nearly £11,000 from Private Matt Woolard after he lost a leg in Afghanistan. She was due to face trial but died just over a week ago. Lorna Ramsey has our report.
Chris Woolard is 19. Losing a parent is difficult at any age, but what happened in the months leading up to his mother's death makes coming to terms with it particularly hard. Angela Woolard was charged with stealing money from Chris's brother Matt, a soldier with the Royal Anglians. He lost his leg in Afghanistan and was awarded £200,000 in compensation. His mother appeared at Southend Magistrates Court in April, charged with stealing £11,000 of it. She had been handling a lot of her son's affairs, but denied the charge of fraud by abuse of position.
In the newspapers, she was this monster of a mum that would do that to her son, because it never went to court, it never got to court, she never got to have her side.
Angela Woolard died in Southend Hospital just over a week ago. She'd broken her leg and later developed blood clots in her lungs. Angela Woolard was due to appear here at Basildon Crown Court next month, where a date for her trial would have been set. Her son Matt didn't want to appear on camera, but said he's been devastated at his mother's death and wished this whole situation had never happened. Chris and his family are now trying to arrange his mother's funeral. She was well known as a show-jumping judge for South East Essex Driving and Riding Club and in her work as a stable manager in Hockley.
She's very dedicated to her horses, she has a lot of friends, and all the friends that did know her knew that what she was like and stayed her friend because they knew that I wasn't her. Some of the things that it says on the internet or in the papers or everywhere, it's not the way she should be remembered.
Chris wants to put his mother's charges behind him. He's trying to focus on the positive memories he has of her. And that's what he'll be thinking of at her funeral next week. Lorna Ramsey, Anglia News, Southend.
Young people caught shoplifting in Norwich are being given a chance to avoid a criminal record by working in shops and restaurants.
Yes, the scheme is being piloted by 6 police forces, including Norfolk, and involves most of the shopping centres and stores in the city. Kate Prout has our report now.
Marcia Jeffries keeps a close eye on stock at Imelda's in Norwich. Any thefts here will have a direct impact on them.
We're a little independent shop. It affects everybody, you know. We don't want it to happen to us. It's just straight out of profits, really. You know, it's got to be paid for somehow. You know, you've bought the shoes, so if someone steals the shoes, you're paying for the shoes out of your own pockets.
Most targeted stores are clothes and cosmetic shops, giving an indication of the types of offenders.
The majority of people caught shoplifting are youngsters, aged between 13 and 15, and usually girls. So the idea of this scheme is to stop them ending up behind bars.
And has already won support from one of the region's biggest shopping centres.
I think we all make mistakes. I think at somebody of 16, 17 to have committed a one-time offence and then be given a criminal record which in 20 years' time could stop them getting their dream job, I think it's very hard. So I think Norfolk and Salisbury have been excellent with this scheme because it's putting what I call a firing shot across somebody's bows and saying it's unacceptable, but we're prepared to work with you and get you to understand the consequences.
First-time offenders are offered the chance to volunteer every Sunday for a month in return for not getting a caution and a criminal record.
This intervention, you have the same effect, sometimes a more powerful effect because they're having to do something to compensate for the crime they've committed as such. The reoffending rate for people who've had a restorative justice intervention, the reoffending rate is massively lower than previously reported.
The trial continues until the end of the month, when a decision will be made whether to continue the scheme and continue giving second chances. Kate Prout, Anglia News, Norwich.
The Fire Brigades Union in Essex have been meeting management to discuss plans for an exhaustive review of the service amid fears that frontline services could be hit. The move comes as Chancellor George Osborne's emergency budget confirmed today there would be a 10% cut in the fire service budget. The review in Essex will look at resources across the county to find areas where the cuts can be made.
What we've got to do is look at what we've got, how we can use them to the best available use, with a cut of £7.5 million, and if the rumours are true, today it'll be a freeze on council tax.
Now then, people